Ladies and gentlemen, last November, we in Barcelona organized a special occasion to mark the 25th anniversary of the Barcelona Declaration, which was a declaration originally to try to breach the differences and try to help development in the South and to get closer economic integration between North and South. We could not call it celebration. We said we will say to mark the anniversary, because really after 25 years of Barcelona, we cannot say that we have achieved much. If anything, the situation 25 years ago and the situation today, if anything, are much worse. We are a new organization set up in 2008, comprising 43 member states, 28 members of the European Union, and 15 states on the Mediterranean littoral. Our task is really development. Our task is job creation. Our task is to have better understanding between North and South. The problem of migration, of course, is a problem of lack of development in the southern countries. We heard one of the speakers in the first panel who also mentioned the fact that this migration flow is going to continue. This migration flow is not going to be only coming from Middle East. It's going to be coming, as is already happened, from sub-Saharan Africa. So what the long-term solution to these problems is employment. One of our main priorities, I would say, we have three main priorities on which we work. And I suppose, in my personal opinion, I would say one priority, even though we say three. Youth unemployment is number one. Youth unemployment or youth employment is number two. Youth employment is number three. If we don't give youth a future, we are going to face problems. If you look, I always like to mention the example of Tunisia. Tunisia is considered as the one country which is a success of the Arab Spring. From all Arab countries, the most number of recruits to ISIS from Tunisia. And when they ask these people why you join, even educated people, it's because they have no future. They have no future. Without a future for youth, without employment, we are going to continue facing ththese problems, not only facing migration, but also linked with migration, the issue of security. I attended 1 month ago, 2 months ago, a conference in Rome organized by the OSCE on actually this topic, migration and security. One of the interventions, one of the representatives of the United Nations, and in his short intervention, and actually there was reference in the first panel to the issue, and even by the President of Malta, to the issue of peace in the Mediterranean. And we have seen, Jeffrey Sachs referred to them as wars of choice: Iraq, Syria, Libya. These wars of choice, conflicts, have not provided solutions. They have created more problems. Without having peace, without having stability in countries, we cannot have development. We cannot, as UFM, really do much in countries where there is conflict. Even though, as I said, all Mediterranean countries are part of our organization, we are limited where we can work, what we can do, because there are areas of conflicts. What we try to do is actually encourage projects between countries of the region, between South-South, North-South mainly, also to create confidence-building measures. to increase trade, to increase transport facilities between North and South. These problems, as somebody again said this morning, of migration, these problems which we are facing in the Mediterranean today are not new. If you look at the Torah, if you look at the Bible, if you look at the Quran, we've had it all, we've seen it all, we've had wars, we've had migrations, we've had floods. We have survived because the Mediterranean, this is the beauty of the Mediterranean. It has survived and it has progressed. We are going now through probably one of the most difficult times. But what does this mean? It doesn't mean that we give up. It means that today we have a challenge. The challenge is much bigger. We ourselves at UFM, we are now looking, we are thinking, we have provided to our member states a new roadmap for UFM, because the priorities that we had yesterday, which are mainly business development, social and civil affairs, higher education, water and environment, transport and urban development, energy and climate change, are not enough. The new challenges are there. The new challenges are different. And UFM has to look at the new challenges, has to look at migration, has to look at different things. One personal comment I would like to make, which has nothing to do with UFM or with, is at the moment, or let's say if you look at the Mediterranean, one of the important aspects of Mediterranean is religion. The three great monotheistic religions come from the Mediterranean. We have a pope today who speaks a lot about misericordia. This is a new thing. He emphasizes misericordia, which is mercy. I don't know whether he does it purposely. I don't know whether he does this because of what's going on today. Because when you look at our Muslim friends, how do they start every speech, every prayer? In the name of God, the most merciful. So their God, our God, which is same God, is really based on mercy. And I cannot understand how people like ISIS, who say they are Muslims, which they are not, go about, when they behead someone in the name of God, the most merciful, and then they behead him. How can you be merciful? We are have to be united also in these aspects of religion, of the way we think. This is my personal opinion. Thank you.